We are ready to go for our next feature. You can see them, and they're going to be making their way to the racing surface. IMCA Northern Sport Mods are next on the ticket. 16 cars, 20 laps the distance. And on the point from Pismo Beach, California, your hometown boy, the 43K of Landon King. To his outside, he hails from Bakersfield, California, the Victory Circle chassis. One in of Nicholas Johnson. Inside of row number 2, hailing from Atascadero, California, drive the number 30H Orion Messina. Outside of row number 2 in the 15F machine, that is Matthew Frazier from Santa Maria. To the inside of row number 3, looking for the 29T machine from Garden Grove, California, that is Talon Mulvey. And to the outside, your very own Director of Operations here at the Santa Maria Speedway, the main electric supply, number 37 of Chad Weber. Inside of row number 4, the number 71 machine from Atascadero, that's Aaron Farrell, and to his outside from Bakersfield, California, the 17A of Adam Baker. Inside of row number 5, and the number 14 machine from Paso Robles, California, that is Rich Denman, to his outside from Bay Point, California. That's the 11D of Danny Wagner. Row number 6 on the inside from Bakersfield, the 99B, another Stevenson suspension Victory Circle chassis. That is Paul Brown, to his outside in the Razor chassis, the 11B of Bryant Baker. Inside row number 7, Chris McKellar in the 18C, and to his outside from Orchid, the 14W of Willie Othout. The 03 of Matthew Paderak from Atascadero in the 03 machines on the inside of row number 8, and to his outside, the 75 of Cameron Paderak. So the brothers Matthew and Cameron starting scratch on the field. They're in row number 8. And the young gun, the 13-year-old, I think it's 13 or 14-year-old, Landon King, the 43K machine, to start on the point for the 20-lap feature for the IMCA Northern Sport Mod Division. Nicholas Johnson right there, that young gun out of Bakersfield. He has won in pretty much each and everything that he's been behind the wheel of, except for a sport mod. This is race number 4, I do believe, for the one-in machine, Nicholas Johnson. So a little history on that one in a chassis. That is the former Michael Johnson Victory Circle. I believe that's about a 2018 model, 2017 model Victory Circle chassis. Nick Diani out of the Central Coast area picked up that sport mod at one point in time. Had the 33 on it. And through some trading and some cash flow, exchanging hands, the one in now is Nicholas Johnson behind the wheel of that Victory Circle chassis. Landon King, the 43K machine, has been running very strong. The young man pilots all kinds of vehicles as well, but he is a very young indeed. At no older than 14 years of age, outlaw sprint car driver. Believe he's going to try his hands at some IMCA stock car stuff as well as the sport mod. Just keep turning laps, that young gun, and we'll see him racing on Sundays. That'll be a great thing. There's a lot of the fast drivers you see in NASCAR come from the dirt track ranks. The likes of Kyle Larson. So we are locked and loaded, ladies and gentlemen. The lights are out. We're going to go green flag racing off of turn number 4. The Battle of the Bay, Battle of Bakersfield versus Santa Maria. Landon King, Nicholas Johnson, your front row, and we are green. King and Johnson making contact into turns 1 and 2, 3, almost 4 wide, coming off of turn number 2. Matthew Frazier bullies his way up in a P3. Tank slapper off of turn number 3. Hang on to it for the 15F machine. They're stacking up down the front straightaway. Out front, the 43K of Landon King still leading them, coming around for lap number 2. Frazier, caution flag will fly, caution out. The 11B of Brian Baker coming to a halt off of turn at number 2, right underneath the Jason White painting banner. So the 11B You can see the damage on the left rear quarter panel for Brian Baker. Baker making his way down to the hot lane there in turn number 3. You can see work being done on the Baker Fabrication Razor chassis number 11B. So Landon King, the drop of the green flags, put a little squeeze move on the one in of Nicholas Johnson, forcing Johnson's hand to have to get on the binders and back out of it going into turns 1 and 2. And doing that, letting the 15F of Matthew Frazier and Orion Messina in the 30H by, putting him back to P4. So right now, your point leader, Danny Wagner from Bay Point, is the 11D machine. Rich Denman sitting second in points over Chad Weber, Willie Othout, and Orion Messina. And you can see all of those cars right there inside the top 10. 71-37-14. So do the one-way communication here at the Santa Maria Speedway. Our officials calling the lineup down to the drivers. We can speak to the drivers, but the drivers can't speak to us. That is how the one-way receiver communication works. Landon King's on the point. Orion Messina, Matthew Frazier, Nicholas Johnson, Talon Mulvaney, Aaron Farrell, Chad Weber, Rich Denman, Adam Baker, Chris McKellar, your top 10. So keep your eyes on that Incognito Design American Well and Safety number 18 for Chris McKellar. Very fast indeed. Just one misstep put him behind the black ball early in that Terry Bredford Stevenson suspension. American Well Control and Safety entry. But he is already moving forward. Started 13th on the field and up to 10th. So 3 spots in 1 lap for the 18C. As we've got Landon King out front all by his lonesome as we come back to the green off of turn number 4. Green flags in the air. Great start for Landon King off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Now Orion Messina taking a peek to the inside. Messina on the bottom. Here comes Frazier all over the backside of the 43K of Landon King. Frazier sends it in a little bit deeper. Here comes Nicholas Johnson around the outside, side by side for second. Don't look now. Here comes Nicholas Johnson. Johnson gets a little bit tight in the one in machine. Trying to get the one in rotated. He drives in a little bit deeper this time into turns 1 and 2. Landon King trying to chop the nose coming off of turn number 2. Johnson and King battle going into turns 3 and 4 once again. Nicholas Johnson coming down off the bottom side of turn number 4. Landon King, Nicholas Johnson. Johnson gets it rotated a little bit earlier. He puts that left front tire on the inside. We've got a new leader going into turn number 3. Nicholas Johnson, Landon King, 1 and 2 at the line. We've got a new leader here on lap number 5. 5 down, 15 to go for the IMCA Northern Sport Mods here tonight. Nicholas Johnson now walking already from the field. Landon King, P2. Matthew Frazier, the number 3 spot, Orion Messina. Here comes the 18 of Chris McKellar up to the top 5. Chris McKellar is going to need a caution here tonight if he's going to find any way to run down. Oh, there it is right there. We've got one around in turns 3 and 4. Right on cue. Caution flag is out for the 75 machine of Cameron Paderak and the 03 of Matthew Paderak. So the brothers getting together over there in the turns 3 and 4. So I got corrected. That's Patorik. Excuse me. Matthew Patorik and Cameron Patorik out of Atascadero, California. And if you guys are not brothers, I do apologize as well. But the one in of Nicholas Johnson, he is out front. Looking really sporty here tonight. He was already walking from the field. Landon King's on the inside of row number 2, but Matthew Frazier to the outside. Don't look now. Chris McKellar, the Incognito Design entry, the 18C, up inside the top 5. Lights are out. We're going green right here off of 4. Nicholas Johnson back to the green. Nicholas Johnson going high off a turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Frazier now has to get on the binders to get that car rotated. Frazier up to P2. Nicholas Johnson to Matthew Frazier. Side by side for 3rd. Here comes Chris McKellar. Now Chris McKellar moves to the inside of Landon King. Landon gets a little bit loose off a turn number 2. All the drive goes to the 18C of Chris McKellar. McKellar has that victory circle chassis up on the bars. That right rear just digging for Chris McKellar as he's side by side now with Frazier. McKellar up to P2. Little slider serves some contact right there. Wrinkled up the right rear quarter panel for Chris McKellar. Frazier takes a peek back down to the inside into turns 1 and 2, but not going to be able to get by the 18C. He's got to set his sights now on the one end of Nicholas Johnson. Nicholas Johnson out front at the halfway point. 10 down, 10 remain. Johnson and Frazier. Frazier misses his marks big time into turns 1 and 2. Floats up the hill. Now Landon King back all over his backside into turns 3 and 4. Nicholas Johnson now, he's got that car a little bit snug as well. As you can see, having a bit of a hard time getting that car rotated off of turn number 2. Here comes the 18C of Chris McKellar. Chris McKellar off a turn at number 4. He has to, the caution is out. Caution is out once again for the 43K. This time, Landon King gets it wrong in turn number 3. Landon King in the King Concrete and Construction 43K machine brings out the caution as he's pointed the wrong direction down the back straightaway. Making his way to get that 43K flipped back around. He'll have to tag the back of the field. As we're just past the halfway point, 12 laps in the books, 8 laps remain. After this, we've got one more feature for you. Hobby stock racing action. Another 20-lapper for the hobby stocks. But right now, we are focused on what we've got going on the racing surface. Nicholas Johnson looking for his first win in the IMCA Northern Sport Mod Division. Once again, multiple-time winner in the IMCA stock car, hobby stocks, and American stocks. If he can get it done here in the one-in machine, he would be victorious in every division that he's raced in 2025. Lights are out. We're going green flag racing next time by. Willie Othout retiring the 14W machine down to the infield with the 11B of Brian Baker. It has been a tough couple weeks for Brian Baker in that 11B machine as we are back to the green. Contact and calamity on the front straightaway, but we keep him going. 3 wide off of turn number 2. Adam Baker gets all kinds of crossed up, trying to avoid contact with the 28 machine. You can see the broken left front tire for the 28 and smoke flying out of the 14 of Denman. Out front, it's still the one in of Nicholas Johnson. Nicholas Johnson still able to hold out the 15F of Frazier. What happened to the 18C? Where's Chris McKellar? He lost a spot to Frazier at the drop of the green. McKellar trying to rally now. As you can see, all the tire smoke billowing off the 14 of Denman. Rich Denman right there running in the number 10 spot. Running 9th is Chad Weber in the main electric supply number 37 machine. He's putting the pressure on the 99 of Paul Brown. Tire down for Denman in the 14. Rich Denman off the pace. He'll pull it down to the infield. No, he's going to bring out the caution. Caution flag will have to fly for the 14 of Denman. So Denman intentionally bringing out the caution there on the back straightaway with that cut down right rear tire. You saw the smoke billowing from the 14 machine for about 3 laps. And that's about as long as it took to cut down that Hoosier G60 on the right rear of the 14 machine. 16 down, 4 laps remain. What a beautiful racing surface indeed here at the Santa Maria Speedway. Brought to you by Toyota of Santa Maria. Shout out to Robbie Claiborne on the track prep this week. 2 distinct grooves of racing, nice and slick right through the middle. Great track for IMCA Northern Sport Mod feature. So now we can see if Nicholas Johnson can hold everybody off for 4 more laps. It'll be a single file restart inside of 5 to go. Lights are out. And we're going green off of turn number 4. Nicholas Johnson, Matthew Frazier, Chris McKellar, Orion Messina, Danny Wagner, Paul Brown, Aaron Farrell, Chad Weber, Talon Mulvaney, and Landon King, your top 10. Nose to tail going into turn number 3. Back to the loud pedal for the one end of Nicholas Johnson. 5 laps remain. Great restart for the Bakersfield, California driver off of turn number 2. A bit of a slip up once again from Chris McKellar. Gets a little bit sideways off of turn number 2. Orion Messina taking a peek to the inside. Now here comes the 14 of Denman in front of the field. Smoke still out of the 14 machine. Slow in front of the field. He's going to come down to the infield once again. Nicholas Johnson not looking back now. Look at the one in into turns 1 and 2. He's got a 1.5 second advantage over that side-by-side battle for second. Caution is out. We've got one around in turns 3 and 4. The 29th tee of Talon Mulvey coming to a halt over there in turns 3 and 4. So we'll see what Talon, he's able to get that car refired, so Talon not having to go by way of the hook. He's been battling that left front broken suspension since about lap number 13. So Talon, he says, I want to keep trying, see if he can get that thing home in the 29T in 3-wheel motion. As you can see, the broken upper ball joint for that machine. He's not going to continue. He's going to bring it down to the infield, and that will do it for Talon Mulvey. Lights are out. We're going green flag racing. A green-white checkered finish for the IMCA Northern Sport Mod Division. Nicholas Johnson, Matthew Frazier. 1 and 2. Chris McKellar, Orion Messina, Danny Wagner. Back to the green. Great start for Nicholas Johnson. Oh, we've got cars around down the front straightaway. That's Landon King and Adam Baker. Caution out once again. So all kinds of chaos. You can see Adam Baker frustrated with the 43K of Landon King. So attention in the stands, somebody did lose a white wallet out there. I know the good folks out here, if you were to find a wallet, you would bring it back to the concession stands or up here in the tower. So if somebody seems to find a white wallet in the stands, please bring it back up here to the tower or to the concession stand. That would be greatly appreciated. Showing them 1 to go, green, white, checkered. Attempt number 2, Nicholas Johnson, the one in machine in front of the field. Matthew Frazier, Chris McKellar, Orion Messina, Danny Wagner, your current point leader, sitting in the top 5 in the 11D. Then you pick up Paul Brown, Aaron Farrell, Chad Weber, the 75 machine. rounding out your top 10. Johnson back to the green. Good start for Nicholas Johnson. Puts 2 cars between himself and the 15 of Frazier. Chris McKellar trying to find a way around Frazier. Has to get on the binders. Slows his momentum down. Now Frazier has a car and a half on the 18C. White flag. This time by for Nicholas Johnson. 4 corners away from picking up his first IMCA Northern Sport Mod victory. Nice and smooth for Nicholas off a turn at number 2 down the back straightaway. Johnson into turns 3 and 4, ripping the lip. Slider serve from Chris McKellar for second, but Nicholas Johnson picks up the win in the victory circle 1 in. Frazier comes home second in his victory circle, 15F, another victory circle in third with Chris McKellar. Orion Messina comes home fourth. Fifth goes to Paul Brown in the 99B. But getting it done for the very first time behind the wheel of the IMCA Northern Sport Mod here tonight. He has won in each and every vehicle in class that he has been behind the wheel of a vehicle in 2025. It's Nicholas Johnson. So it looks like Aaron Farrell was a little upset for some reason with the 18 of Chris McKellar. Maybe say just hi to you down there. So coming down to victory lane here at the Santa Maria Speedway, brought to you by Toyota of Santa Maria. Nicholas Johnson gets it done here tonight from Bakersfield, California. Your top 3 right there, those are all victory circle chassis, all victory circles with Chris Stevenson suspension. So that is one lethal combo here tonight. Steering wheel's coming off. Here comes the safety equipment for the 1-in machine. It's going to be very happy man indeed with this victory here tonight. Chris McKellar and Frazier down there. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Nicholas Johnson.
All right, Nicholas Jackson on top of the car. 4th time in this machine, brings it home. P1 tonight. Getting the hugs from the family there. Come on out here, Nick. Bro, I've seen you now in American stocks, hobby stocks, IMCA stocks, sport mods, but I always seem to find you where you find me, right here in Victory Lane, man. Congratulations in this machine.
Thank you. I thank Dad and Mom. Without them, this wouldn't have been possible. We traded the hobby stock away probably about 3 weeks ago, 3 races ago, and this is my 3rd race in the car. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be up here so soon. Just a big sigh of relief that I don't suck.
Well, here's a little trophy for you to start it off. Who do you want to thank on this machine? I know you don't have too many stickers on here, but I know there's a lot of people behind you.
Yeah, I got to thank my uncle, Stevie, Tyler, Dylan. Dylan didn't make it tonight. Without him, I don't think we'd be where we're at now. Chris, Stevenson suspension, Victory Circle race cars. This thing's a rocket, man. I've had speed in it every race, just felt kind of in the way. Skinny's Automotive, Gil's Transmission, Grandpa, Grandma, my brothers, Cody, Steven, and Ethan. Teltech Security, everybody that helps me out, All Lit Up Graphics. There's not a card to look at to figure out the sponsors, but everybody that helps me out, thank you guys.
All right, well, let's give it up for the 1N of Nicholas Johnson, your winner.
Nicholas Johnson getting it done for the first time in just 3 attempts in the IMCA Northern Sport Mod Division. And now we'll take it down to Matthew Frazier, driver number 15F.
All right, Matt, coming home P2 tonight. I hear the fan club back there. They're out here. What a run. You and Nick, you guys have grown up racing together, you know, your whole lives, and you're out here going 1-2 tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, wish we could have got P1, but pretty good either way.
Well, you've had some help with this car, not just your brother and your dad helping out, but you got a whole bunch of sponsors on here. Read them off for me, bud.
Yeah, first, just want to say all glory to God, and then we'll start off. Well, we always got to thank my mom and my dad first, and then especially Glassamere, Quest Inspection, Victory Circle Chassis, Stevenson Suspension, and Elite Athletics.
All right, we'll give it up. P2 tonight, Mr. Matthew Frazier.
Coming home third here tonight in the third Victory Circle chassis inside of the top 3 in the 18C machine, it's Mr. Chris McKellar.
All right, I'm here with Chris McKellar. P3 running with these young guns, man. These guys are coming out here putting some work, making you have to work a little extra hard.
I know, they put it on me tonight. I want to say thank you so much to my wife and kids. Chris Stevenson with Victory Circle, Don with American Whale Control, Incognito Designs, Big Dump, my mom, everybody that helps me out. Thank you. And thank you to all the fans coming out and supporting us.
All right, give it up. Chris McKellar, P3. Now, if you guys want to see any of these cars after the race, head on down to the pits next to the VIP section. You guys can go through the pits, see these guys, take some pics signed, and you guys can be out here with these cars in the pits.